Now, here is one of the switches that you never actually get to see. I've been illegally blocked from informing you of this. But the real game, as it always is the alienation game applies to everybody. So by blocking me, it is all of you that are being alienated and illegally blocked. That's their game. The attack isn't on me. The attack is on all of you to not receive this real information or anything that's happening to you or your children. That's the attack. You are all already in agreement sections. Do you understand that? You're already all in some sort of an agreement section somewhere. The biggest one, the United States of America. Then you got subdivided into Republican and Democrat. And you can keep going down. It's like just a big pyramid. And then they can control any one of those sections. And you're just in the agreement section. You don't actually have a say to anybody. Kids, do your parents ever have a say to anybody that they're agreeing with on the TV? Ever? Well, how can they agree if they can't provide their opinion? What are they agreeing on? The other person doesn't even know what their opinions are. Do your parents ever change anything before the agreement pack does? In that case, they would actually go to a different agreement pack. So does that ever occur? But when the agreement pack changes directions in any way, shape, or form, they stay with the agreement pack as well, correct? But they don't change themselves. And you want to follow the leader. They're not the leader. They're telling you they're not the leader, except you're listening to the stories and not watching the actions. And neither is mommy and daddy. Because just like that agreement pack, in the entire circulation of their life, they don't have a say. Period. They think they do. You think they do. That's an agreement pack. Follow the leader. If you ask anybody in an agreement pack what their opinions and ideas are, and then ask them to explain how they got to those opinions and ideas, I think you're going to have a problem. You see, they themselves can't differentiate between story and not story, because all there is story. There's nothing but story. It's all psychologic now. Hybrid. For me, it's like telling the fish at the bottom of the sea that's never seen light that there's land, that it's not all water. That's what I'm dealing with. And a lot of those fish are going to all agree with me? I don't think so. They're also in the same space. And guess which one is crazy? The one that has a possibility to pass on, just a possibility of recognition. So instead, the fish already know. They agree that they know. Why are we going anywhere? How stupid would that be? The only difference is they feed themselves. You can't. You will first have to learn how to think for yourself. That's going to be very difficult because you don't really have yourself, because there aren't the experiences that you really need in order to do all this stuff. That's why I'm really talking to the children. And then the children will have to understand that the parents have a story called "They Really Care About You." Well, actually, we're going to see if it goes into play. What will be more important? Your lack of the opportunity for recognition of what things are supposed to be, so you don't wind up in a life of complaints, or follow the leader because mommy and daddy have all the answers, and the last thing they want is for you to ever find out that they don't. Kids, let me give you a tip. You cannot learn unless you inquire. You can't be fed learning. It doesn't work that way. You can't read learning. It's the same thing. Somebody's giving you something that they're feeding you. That's not how it works. You can't learn anything unless you inquire. That's the way you're designed. Look at the animals. All they do is walk around and inquire. That's all they're doing. That's why they're outside. If they're not inquiring, they're going to be lunch. They'll be looking for lunch, but they'll wind up being lunch. What do you think they're doing when they go out to eat and they're looking for food? Everything is an inquiry. They have to be an inquiry, otherwise they'll be dead. You think sitting around a campfire telling stories is not going to have their whole entire family be lunch? Are you kidding me? You all think that you can be that way and somebody is got your back. There could be nothing further from the truth. What has your back is really bad, really bad. In fact, many people are sleeping with really bad and don't even know it. Parents are really bad. There are kids that are really bad. It has nothing to do with color or even gender. They are all distractions. That's it. It has to do with the core of our being and what we have to start with. Kids, listen, your parents cannot get back to them. They are trapped in this psychotic stew, this psychotic rat wheel. They're trapped because they were conned and they're conning you. They don't want to, they don't know it. It's hard to get them to even listen to anything that somebody's saying they had done wrong. The part they don't understand is they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't really have a choice. They came out onto this platform just like you did. See? So you wouldn't know anything different. So how would you be wrong to your kids? You wouldn't be. Well, that's no different than your parents are to you. See? So it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. What matters is, what are you going to do now? You must understand that all these psychotic unconscionables, predators, bullies, they have everybody by what they say, balls. Why? Well, because they control a lot of jobs. Do you understand? They control a lot of things, but what people don't understand is they actually don't control anything, because all they will be doing is exposing themselves to their children and the planet as this goes on, because you'll be looking at the actions of evil in action, of anarchy, which they're already doing to you. That'll just be condensed for your front seat view, baby. And then they will be showing you who the problems are that even got you here in the first place and have abused your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, and will abuse you and any kids or siblings or whatever that come after you. They don't care. See? Do not follow the leader. The leader is lost. The leader needs to follow you. You are closer to the being when you're younger. Give me an infant and put it in logic and watch what happens. You'll have the smartest kid on the entire planet. Watch. Just raise your kid in logic, but you can't, because you don't have logic. It doesn't exist for you. See? You have psychologic, which you think is, well, that's all there is, right? Yeah. You don't have different things before. Like, we had logic and psycho, but you don't have logic and psycho. They don't even talk about psycho, do they? They don't even talk about logic, do they? What happened to the word logic? What happened to the word psycho? Why don't they even talk about it? Aren't the people psycho anymore? Why don't they even mention that people are psycho anymore? Because it's them. That's why. And then who are you going to go to when you have a complaint about these psychotic predators? Oh, the mental health industry. Oh, I see. The APA. Okay, they're members, the ones that they brainwashed. Okay, I understand. Yeah, that's a hell of a system. The ones where they have like 50,000 something members, and at least 20 to 40% of them are unconscionables themselves. So you got to figure, how many do you have that know that all the other ones, their colleagues, are conscionables, and they're shaking their hands every day. Hey, they're good friends. But let me tell you something. That's evil amongst even the programmed drones. And they're making sure that all psychotic actions and speech and everything else stay just on course, baby. The main trick they use, over there, over there. Don't look here, over there. Look over there. Not us, them. You go to their social media site. They have a thing on the bottom. Talk about anything you want, just not us. Go look. In other words, you can't say anything about your mental health industry or your mental health so-called experts, but you can talk about anything else you want. Go ahead, talk, have a nice day, bye. That's your life. Do you understand? That's why they're never around. That's why they never show up during any of the disasters. And you don't even realize that. See, to me, that's the dangerous part. Right there. The part where everything to you becomes unknown. How are you ever going to pass on any known? If you're in unknown, how would you even know of known if your life is in unknown? And you just keep being pushed next chapter, you're playing hopscotch through life instead of street sweeper. Did you ever notice that animals smell the ground? You can't smell logic. The best way to do this, kids, is very simple. Don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. And they are not your parents in any of that stuff. They basically look at it like you're standing in a desert. And that's all you have. Watch, watch, watch. Don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. Does it matter who comes into the desert? No. Does it matter what they look like? Does it matter if they're male or female? No. What's the difference? What they do is what they do. Okay? The stories that come out of their mouths, oh, well, that's going to change all kinds of stuff. Yeah. But their actions are going to be the same. So forget about the stories, okay? And just do not listen to what they say. Watch what they do. That's your answer. What they say is going to try to convince you that what they're doing is not what they're doing. And they want to basically unring a bell and tell you that and then sell you that. And then you buy it and then you sell it to others. See? Oh, you wouldn't believe what I know about this person. Really? You do? Are you sure? Because that person doesn't even know. There's a reason they have the kids pretty much ignore the adults. That's why they separated family. Because that's your string of logic, the family. That literally is the string of logic. Because you keep the elderly around. I grew up with my grandmother in my home since I was born. I mean, I didn't know any other life except with my grandmother living with me. And we spoke a second language, and it was just a whole different thing. And how without that? I mean, I used to thread her needles when she was sewing. I still have this thing, her sewing machine, with a pedal on it. Okay, because her eyes, she couldn't see. She's calm as a kid. Come over, I can't, she got to thread it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have any of those experiences. You have nothing. You don't get any information from them at all. They have you putting them in some other place when actually they're still at the position where you can care for them. But they have you like on an auto dump. It's kind of bizarre, but that's the information that you need. It's not what their titles were when they were slaving. Not the information that you need. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. The information that you need, what are the changes? What are the real changes? What did you see change over your life? That's the information that you want from them. Then ask them, when you were little, was everything logical? Ask them, see what they tell you. Then ask them, when things changed and you had kids and they started doing things that you thought were out of control or a little crazy and wild kids, were you looking at stuff that you considered to be not logical? And if that's the case, isn't that what you were bumping up against? Your logical world against some not logical stuff bumping into your logical world and the people that you care about most, and it just didn't fit. Correct? And then when those kids had their kids, well, those kids also seemed the same way because they were bumping further away from logic. And logic is your core operating system. It's your machine language. That's what it is. See? And all that happens throughout time is you keep kicking other stuff in and squishing logic. And logic keeps begging for, you're not paying attention. And everybody's going, yeah, we're having a great time. You don't know, you're old. What the hell do you know? Come on, don't pay attention to those people. What are you talking about? No, let's go to the party. Yeah, and then people start shooting everything up and everything gets crazy. And if you look over time, it's just completely added psychosis as you go. Crazy, 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 which is normal to you and accepted. See, but you're not you, and your parents are not your parents. Nobody's is, okay? Because you don't have any logic to make that decision. See? You can't even decide that because you don't have logic. So you have to decide about you with stories and in story form. Because why do you have to decide about you? Why is it something that you have to decide about? Aren't you just you? Why are you something you're telling different people different things? If you're just you, why? Why does your story change? Maybe it's because you are a story. And actually just getting to deal with that will be way too painful for any intelligent being to survive. So you're going to stay right there, and so are your kids. He already knows without inquiry, where intelligence is something that you can gain, not something that you have, not your base of everything. It already has answers in it. Therefore, who needs inquiry? Too smart for that. Anybody ever quantify smart for you? Oh, look at that, a one-size-fits-all tool. Now, who can't be led by the smart? Bring them to me, baby. The fact that they come tells me they're even dumber than the rest. Because the rest are currently trying to quantify how the hell do they use that word exactly. And then they'll go back into their life and say, well, all those people said I was smart, but what the hell does that mean actually? And I was buying all that shit and wow, oh man, I didn't realize it. Wow, it was free, so what the hell? Made me feel good. Hey, that's all that matters. Like a constant virtual trophy. He's so smart. She's so smart. What's today, Junior? Hold on, I gotta get my phone. How do you turn this on? Don't worry about it, it's Tuesday. Thanks for the answer. Yeah, you were way too long in an inquiry. I had to cut you off. Let me know when those of you that have never actually built a table to basically explain the table, build a table. You may notice that you're always not directed to information that is going to happen or going to help you. That's the elderly. The same thing happens with the 18-year-old children that are really 12 or 13 years old, but the APA doesn't say, oh yeah, we do agree that 25, 26, 27 is the age that the brain fully develops. It's the last part, and it's the reasoning, where they can make decisions. So they're deciding on their life and to take others' lives at 18, which is like 12 or 13. Now, have you heard the APA ever mention any of that stuff? Any of that stuff whatsoever? Because that's your mental health industry, right? And that would be the mental oversight of your children, correct? Okay, so when are they going to inform you? In fact, they actually don't direct you, just like the elderly, to the vet hospitals. They send you to some sharp-looking guy in some sharp outfit. The whole thing's a con. And they're talking to a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old. Do you understand? You think your kid has a chance? You sent the kid there. You allowed the kid to go there. What are you going to do now that he's 18? And they say, well, for 18, he can do that. Anything else, 21. Why? Because we need that army man, just like when we were children. That's why. You see, you can't drink and kill one person, but you can go kill many. And then they have Moms Against Drunk Driving. How do you like that title? Nice little category over there. Somewhere else, there's this one little group. No, not that at all. How about a group called Mothers Against Unconscionables? Because any other group that you have, you are wasting your time. You are lost in category land, title land, name land, which basically for you turns into excuses land, reasons land, I'm busy land. Listen, kids, what's going to happen to you if you don't follow this? You will spend a life in want of what you can never have. See? Look at your parents. They're examples. They want all these different things, and they don't enjoy them as the things that they are. See, that's the difference. You will notice that people want to be somebody else, right? They want to replicate the star, the football player, the actress, the singer. They want to be somebody else. And then when another singer or whatever comes along, they want to be that too. They'll buy that person's shirt or whatever they do. See, that's just about, I want to be you. I want people to think I'm you. And that always happens because you don't know you. See, if you knew you, then that stuff is just entertainment, an add-on for entertainment. It doesn't become anything that you are. You're part of that. You're part of the spirit because you grew up with it. So you have it in you. You don't need a shirt for it. Do you understand? So you have it already. The ones with all the shirts, they're adding this stuff. Some of them, many of them go in there because it's a collaborative thing, and it's a great thing because it's very good. But a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people put it on for the reason that they want to really be like, looking like something different. Do you understand? Because otherwise, the shirt name wouldn't matter. If it was just like a team thing, they would just have a team shirt. The shirt name would not matter. The fact that they pick a name, do you understand? It says that they're looking to be like that person. That's what that does. That's what I see. See, if it was just like a team rah-rah thing, then they would just be fine with the team shirt. But they all have different names. See, so that's telling me they want to be like that person. So that tells me that they're not enjoying that person. They're more attached to being that person, to be like that person, to admire that person. When if they actually admired themselves, they would never even get there. You can't get to like that part of need where you have to wear somebody's stuff. Do you understand? You would be at a choice where you're going to wear it because you chose to wear it. And there's a lot of those people out there. I'm not saying there's not, but that's not the majority at all. Not at all. The problem is it's hard to recognize anything I'm telling you because you have no idea what it's like. So you're sitting there in a little bubble that you don't know is a little bubble, and you're convinced that you're in the bubble that you're supposed to be in. And in fact, there is no bubble. There's just what you have, and that's the correct stuff. That's not inquiry. That is not how they found out that the earth was not flat. Look, all the information that you're getting is coming from different sources, but none of the sources are you. None are you. You're just at the beck and call, begging, always begging for information from who and where did it begin. You have no idea, but it's real. See? So when you want to know something about something, you're going to ask a question. You're not going to inquire into you. See? Because you don't understand you, right? So if you want to know something, I'll give you an example. If you want to know what's the point of the moon, you're going to go into Google and you're going to find out what's the point of the moon, right? And then they're going to give you all kind of information. Like you could probably find, I don't know what they would have on there, but I can imagine it's all kind of scientific, blah, 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 yabba dabba do, that you can't do anything with. Okay? That's what they're spending their time with. Doing something, and you have to ask yourself, whatever they come up with, what are you going to do with it? What are they going? What is the best case scenario that they're going to use that information for? They're exploring? Really? Because they sound like they're answering. That doesn't sound like an exploratory thing. That sounds like they're giving you an answer. That you should know that this is what it is and have a nice day. Bye. The key is you're not an inquiry for yourself. See? Because maybe you're looking at something that tells you things that they don't want you to know. Did you ever think of that? Ever? Mommies and daddies, are you awake? Because your kids are. Because they look at the moon all the time. And in fact, they look at it with you. Don't they? And you have no idea what you're looking at. You're going to go in the house and you're going to type in Google or whatever and look up that while you're looking at it with your kid. Yeah. Question. What is it that you're looking at? What are you looking at? Look. What are you looking at? Do you even know what you're looking at? Forget about the Google. I want to know what you're looking at. Huh? Question. Look over at your kid. You should be laying on the grass at this point, side by side, looking up at the moon. If you haven't figured that out, I hope you're not standing up. If you are, that's fine, but sit down, lay down, relax. You gotta lay down, it's better. Look at the moon. What do you see? Anything? Anything at all? What the hell is that? What the hell is that doing there? Question. Look to your side. Can you see your kid? Can your kid see you? Oh, I wonder why that is. That's interesting, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, we're inside of its action. Oh, wow. Well, how would we ever know that? I don't know, because you're going to get scientific data that says anything but that. Like, don't pay attention to you. Whatever you do not pay attention to you. We will tell you. Yeah, don't look here. Over there, over there. Never look at what's so. Always look at what the story is, what's so. And that's all you know, because then they provide this horseshit to the teachers and to all the APA members, and that's how stuff goes through society. And you have over 15 million of these evil bots running around, baby. Okay? What else do you see? Have you figured the other part out yet? And I'm sure there's more than two altogether, but I've always seen two. Do you see the other part? Can you recognize what it's telling you? It's telling you something. Something that you've been trying to replicate since the beginning of time. What is it telling you? Is that not a reflection? Is that not telling you if you want light, you can use reflection? You don't need to do all the bullshit that they have you doing? I mean, can you put out a light and then 20 reflectors to get an insane number of light? An insane amount of light? That's what that says to me. But that wouldn't be profitable, would it? No, because, see, we're too intelligent. That's why. We already know what we're looking at all the time. And if anybody is sure, it's the intelligent beings, the ones with the ability to learn. Kids, be the source or buy bullshit.